Good morning. Well, I think it's still morning. We're getting a little bit of a late start today. Hey, did you get a chance to see the eclipse of the moon last night? What a glorious example of God's creation and perfect timing. Are you ready to just begin a new week? Do you ever wonder what God has in store for you this week? God doesn't want us to just float through life. He has a purpose, and He wants to fulfill that purpose daily. In His timing, things will come. As Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. Today, we're reading Genesis, chapters 46 through 48. Did you know that the first book of the Bible, Genesis, spans about 2,300 years? From Adam to Joseph. We have read as God intervenes time after time to preserve His creation, to keep His promises. As the sovereign hand of God continues to move, we see the beautiful picture of Jacob and his son, Joseph, reunited after 20 years in today's reading. Genesis 46, 29 through 30 says, So Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. And he presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said to Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive. Two lives that had been swept up in the will of God and carried in both of those lives into great disappointment and even into great reward. One had betrayed his brother. One was betrayed by his brothers. One was held captive by his love for a woman. The other was held captive by a master as a slave. Both were used by God greatly. One to create a nation, the other to preserve a nation. As this reunion takes place, we find a moment in time that enables a great nation to flourish, but also ensures their slavery and will enslave them to a horrible taskmaster. But in all of this, God is working His perfect will. That's something that we can rely on. We can know that God is working His will in our lives. We might make the wrong choices at times, and we may take many detours along the way, but God will draw us to Him, and He will perfect us through His Son, Jesus Christ. He will not abandon us when things are going wrong. Our failures do not discourage God. He doesn't scratch His head and say, oh my, what am I going to do? But He is working. God is working in us and through us that His will might be done. You can live in confidence today. Confidence of this, that God is working in your life. God was working in Joseph even when he was sold into slavery. He was working in Joseph's life even when he was thrown into prison. And He was working in Joseph's life when he became second ruler of all of Egypt. Today, let us rejoice. Let us place our faith in God and in God alone. Because I know this. He will see us through. God bless you. Have an awesome day in the Lord.